So far on this channel, we've talked about aperture and shutter speed, and I've mentioned several times that exposure triangle. So the third point we're going to talk about today is ISO. ISO simply controls how sensitive your camera is to light. A low ISO, like 100, 160, 200, settings like that, depending on your camera, means that it is less sensitive to light. Higher ISOs, ISO 1600, 3200 and higher, mean that your camera is more sensitive to light. In the past, with film cameras, you would actually buy film with a set ISO and you couldn't change that. One of the benefits of digital cameras is you can just change it from picture to picture now, depending on your situation. So this is just the get out of jail free, adjust it and however you need, make your image the perfect brightness type setting, right? No. There is a downside. Let's take a look at a couple pictures and see if you can notice what that is. Here is a picture taken at a low ISO, what is basically the base ISO, the lowest ISO for the camera that I was shooting on. It looks clean, it looks great, but as you can see, I have plenty of light in this picture. I didn't need to make my camera any more sensitive to get the image as bright as I wanted it to be. Now here's a picture taken with a higher ISO. You can see the settings on screen, but also just looking at the picture and seeing the situation, you can see this was of course a darker scene that I was taking. I needed to make my camera more sensitive to capture this image at the correct brightness. But you will notice, especially if you start to look close, it looks dirty. This is what we used to call film grain and now is often called noise in digital cameras, and as you push your ISO even higher, it'll get more and more prevalent and typically make your picture look worse and worse. So unlike shutter speed and aperture, ISO doesn't affect how the light comes into your camera, which will have some visual effect on your subject, either a blurry background or some motion blur. It affects how your camera processes that image and therefore results in this digital noise. It's like turning up the volume when you're listening to music. It doesn't change the music itself, it just amplifies it. So that's why turning up the ISO higher can help in low light, but it comes with that trade-off of more noise. Taking all that into account, modern cameras really handle high ISOs very, very well, and it's just getting better and better. So don't be afraid to use it to get the image you need if you can't compensate with the other settings, your aperture or your shutter speed, because you can't go slower without getting motion blur, or you have a limit of how wide open the aperture on your lens can go, or you really don't want that background blur, so you want to shoot at 5.6, but you need more light. That's where you boost your ISO to compensate for it. And that's why it's called an exposure triangle. An adjustment to any one of those settings can be compensated with one of the other settings. And all of these things kind of work together to balance out and get the exposure you need. But now that we've covered all three of those points of the exposure triangle, don't worry about it too much. Just get out and start shooting. As you shoot in different situations, you'll start to notice, okay, yes, my shutter speed was too slow. That's why I have a blurry image, or I really wish that there was more in focus in this image. How can I do that? Aperture, okay. Or when you're stuck in a dark situation and you really just need to brighten up your image, right, ISO. I can boost my ISO and then take the picture. It'll start to click once you actually have hands-on experience with it. So don't be afraid of it. Don't overthink it. Just get out there and shoot. Now that you have the information in your mind, you'll notice it. You can do it. So hopefully that was helpful. And if you want to see more tips and tricks, little points of advice, maybe some gear reviews here and there, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.